What's up, everybody? Essential here, and today I wanted to talk about all of the stages that we have and what we have seen for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And we're going to be talking about stage legality and what stages we can expect, hopefully, will be legal when it comes to tournament play for Super Smash Bros. So, let us get started. First off, Battlefield, of course. Battlefield's going to be legal. No reason why it wouldn't be. Big Battlefield. Unfortunately, Big Battlefield will not be legal for singles. Maybe it'll be illegal for doubles, but I don't play doubles, so unfortunately I can't really comment here. But yeah, probably not legal. Final Destination. Final Destination is, of course, going to be legal. That being said, let's continue on. So, everything here is going to be hazardless, of course. All stage hazards off, because unfortunately, I think we can't select per stage if it's going to be hazards on, hazards off. So we're kind of stuck with, hey, are we going to go full on hazards on or full on hazards off? And I think as a community, we're moving closer to hazards off than hazards on. So I'm going to be talking about hazards off for all this. Peach's Castle. Little tangent there, sorry. Peach's Castle. So from what I've heard, hazards off removes the bumper. It removes the bumper, it stops the bottom platform from shifting, but that's really it. So we would need to lab it, I guess. I'm not sure if the two ramps up on the side are grabbable, as if you can stand up there and camp up there or not. If they aren't, and they're really just there to for looks, then this actually could possibly be a legal stage. It's very unlikely. I feel like we'll probably just ban it as a community, but if it's legal, then that would be rather interesting. Congo Jungle. So from what I've heard, Congo Jungle, there is no bottom barrel, and the two rotating platforms do not move. So for that, it's a possibility of it being legal. But once again, similar with Peach's Castle, chances are it's just not going to be. The reason being is because from what I've seen in pictures, the platforms appear to be rather high up. They don't appear to be stacked like you might expect. They're just a flat. They're pretty much together up near the top of their rotation. So that's pretty high up there. And characters with not high jumps, such as Little Mac or Ganondorf, they might take issue with that Congo Jungle. So, it could be legal, could not be, hard to tell. Hyrule Castle is too big to be legal for singles. Hazard switch turns off the tornadoes. Sorry about that. Yeah, it turns off the tornadoes. Continuing on. Why is this in Spanish? So, Super Happy Tree. I'm not sure why this is in Spanish. That's really weird. Hold on. Hyrule Castle. Oh, okay. No, English. United States English. Okay. So, Super Happy Tree. Apparently, there are still clouds. The clouds have not been removed with hazards off, so chances are this will not be a legal stage because of the clouds off in the distance. And if you get stuck on one of the clouds and the other cloud dissipates off to the right, there are two clouds at far distances. Certain characters would definitely not be able to come back from that, while other characters would have another chance at life. So it's not entirely the most balanced. So unfortunately, while I think Super Happy Tree would be great if the clouds are gone and the blast zones were fixed, unfortunately it's probably just not going to happen. Dreamland, of course, is going to be legal. Hazards off removes the wispy effect, which I'm perfectly fine with. It kind of becomes a Battlefield clone, but you know what? I'll stick with it. Saffron City. Saffron City is not going to be legal for the simple fact that it is not a very competitive friendly stage. Hazards off stops the Pokemon from coming out, and I think it stops the moving platforms as well. But still, the layout is not very competitive friendly, so it's just not going to happen. Mushroom Kingdom, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It has walk-offs throughout its entire battle, so that's not going to happen. Princess Peach's Castle, even with stage hazards off, it's too big of a stage for singles and too awkward of a stage for doubles, so it's probably not going to become legal. Rainbow Cruise. So as I've heard, Rainbow Cruise actually is static. It is a static. There's no changes. It's static with hazards off, which means this could actually become a legal stage. I know there are people who are taking an issue with this wall right here. Some people claim that that could be a massive issue, but honestly, I think we should try it out first before we cut it for good. Because the layout is pretty interesting. You got two platforms here, and you got the other platform up to the right. It's a pretty interesting stage layout, and if it doesn't change at all, it's pretty nice. So I think we should have it legal for now, and if that one wall becomes an issue down the road, then yeah, we'll ban it. But I think we should start off with a larger legal stage list count than a smaller one. So Congo Falls. Congo Falls, unfortunately, still has the rock down to the right side, which is perfect for camping, and which basically means it's not going to be viable for competitive play, unfortunately. It would be great if so, but because that rock is still there, it's just not going to happen. Jungle Japes. This is where my bias is going to come out. I love Jungle Japes. Jungle Japes has been my favorite Super Smash Bros. Stage of all time. I've always loved it. Unfortunately, with hazards off, apparently the water still kind of tugs you away. The claptrap is gone, so you can't get spiked randomly just for getting knocked into the water. And honestly, I would love to try it in any tournament that I personally host. It's going to be legal until people start complaining about Jungle Japes enough. But I would love to try it, to be honest. I really would. But chances are, in the more larger competitive scene, it's going to be banned, unfortunately. RIP Jungle Japes. Great Bay. So I'm guessing with stage hazards off, Great Bay is not going to be a competitive stage for a simple reason of... Sorry about the background noise. Simple reason of the turtle right here. If he never appears, then we don't have that big of an issue. But just the layout in general, the turtle isn't all that bad, but the issue comes with having two platforms underneath the main platform stage. And since that stage is hard, a lot of people will complain about it being a cave of life, where if you time your attacks and they hit you into the stage, you won't die. You'll live for a really long period of time. And then the rock over on the right-hand side that you don't see, I think that one doesn't tilt at all. It's stationary. It doesn't move when you stand on it. So it'd be great to try it out, but I don't think it's going to be legal, unfortunately. Temple. Temple is not going to be legal just because it's gigantic. Absolutely gigantic. Brinstar. So from what I've heard, Brinstar stage hazards off. There is no lava whatsoever that comes up. So there's no lava, and you can't hurt the stage. So the two floating platforms, you can't snap the thing that holds them down to where they will angle themselves up, and you can't separate the stage by destroying the weird blocks. So it's a difficult question to know if this is going to be legal or not. I think it could be legal. The only issue I see is the gigantic form of destroyable blobs that separates the stage, because they're not necessarily flat and it could trip some people up. But just similar with Jungle Japes and Rainbow Cruise, I think we should try it out and ban if necessary. So try first, ban if necessary. That's kind of the way I'm going with this. Yoshi's Island is not going to be legal because this is a walk-off. Even though with stage hazards off, the Mario blocks don't move. They're solid, even if you hit them. So that could be interesting, but it's gonna be banned, unfortunately. Yoshi's Story. So Yoshi's Story, Hazards Off removes Randall the Cloud, which I know a lot of people are kind of upset about, but it makes the stage legal. And ultimately, however, it does become similar to a Battlefield clone. The difference is the edges are tilted downwards, which changes the layout from Battlefield. So since the edges are tilted downwards, you can theoretically recover a little lower than you could on Battlefield. So it is still different enough. I don't know about the blast zones and how they're laid out, but so it's still different enough, and it's going to be legal. But some people will probably just call it a Battlefield clone because of the position of the floating platforms. Similar, actually, with Fountain of Dreams. Hazards Off, Fountain of Dreams platforms don't move, so it necessarily becomes a Battlefield clone. And I know a lot of people want this to be stage hazard, this particular one to be Hazards On, but I think, as I said, since we're going to a full-on Hazards Off for the entire stage list, this one's just going to have to follow suit, and it'll just become a Battlefield clone that we can swap out because it looks nicer than Battlefield, or some people will say that. I actually don't like the way it looks, but anyway. Green Greens. So Green Greens, stage hazards on, hazards off. You have 3 floating separate stages, essentially, and the blocks aren't there. So I think this is legal. I know a lot of people, for some reason, take issue with it not being one long, solid platform. I like it, actually. I think it looks really cool. It's a very interesting, unique stage layout, and I think it should be legal. You just make it legal, and then if too many complaints arise, then or people are able to abuse it somehow against certain characters, then we'll ban. But I think we should make it legal. Corneria, not going to be legal for obvious reasons. The map is huge, even though it's a fun map. Map is huge, and it's just, you can camp down here on the laser, and we have the wall, a gigantic wall over here that can lead to some unfortunate matchups. Venom is also not going to be legal, unfortunately. Even though it has a pretty cool 4 separate platform layout, it's not going to be legal. Pokémon Stadium is definitely going to be legal with hazards off. I've heard a lot of people say they want hazards on because Melee has hazards on, but I've heard a lot of Melee players say that they don't want hazards on it. They just pick it because they have to. So chances are Pokémon Stadium hazards off is going to be legal, most definitely. On it's not going to be legal for the simple, just the layout itself and the fact that you can literally walk off the stage and kill yourself. It's not going to be legal. Mushroom Kingdom 2, same thing. It's not going to be legal because you can walk off the stage and kill yourself. Brinstar Depths, once again, not legal. The stage is gigantic. Even if it doesn't rotate because of hazards off, the stage won't rotate. The stage itself is gigantic, and it doesn't really play to competitive play. I still love the stage, though. Big Blue. Big Blue is a no, unfortunately. It's too big. Big Blue, too big. Best way to put it. Fourside. Fourside's not going to be legal for obvious reasons. The platform layout is kind of abysmal, unfortunately. Cool stage, though. Delfino Plaza. Now, I haven't heard actually what happens with Delfino Plaza with stage hazards off. I don't remember if it still transforms. I think it does. And some of the transformations have walk-offs, so I don't think Delfino Plaza is going to be legal. It doesn't really bother me all that much, considering how many legal stages we already have, and we're not even halfway through the stage list yet. So I'm fine with Delfino Plaza not being legal. I know other people would prefer it to be legal. So that's kind of like a maybe. So moving on. Mushroomy Kingdom, that's not going to be legal for obvious reasons. Figure 8 Circuit, also not going to be legal for the fact that you can walk off. The hazard change just removes the Shy Guy from driving, so yeah, it's not going to be legal. WarioWare Inc. I am super excited for this one. This stage is going to be legal. I am certain of it, given the fact that with stage hazards off, wow, that was weird. Stage hazards off, there are no mini games. So no mini games means no random bonuses or buffs that your character will get, or penalties if you don't do the mini game. So I'm very excited about this one. It is a 4-platform layout. It's very balanced. It's a very interesting layout. Excited to see legal matches on this stage. So WarioWare Link is legal. Bridge of Eldin, walk-offs, not legal. And with stage hazard off, the bridge doesn't get destroyed. So it is what it is. Norfair, this one is controversial. I would love to see Norfair as legal. With stage hazards off, there is no lava. No lava happens at all. But the stage, there's no real solid platform, which a lot of people take issue with. It can promote itself to being campy. I'd like to see it in legal, but chances are Norfair is not going to be legal at all. But as I said, I'd love to see it. But it's probably not going to happen. Frigate Orpheon is going to be legal. I think a lot of people are complaining a bit too much about the wall that appears for a very small second of time, because even with stage hazards off, the one platform on the right does go up and down, and when it's down at its bottom, at its lowest form, there is a small wall between that platform and the main platform. So I know a lot of people take issue with that, but honestly, I think Frigate Orpheon is going to be legal. We saw it played legal as a tournament stage at E3, and it worked. I loved it, and I'm super excited for it, and I think it'll work. Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is going to be legal. The bottom platform layout is kind of interesting. It kind of dips in, and then the edges slant downwards, and you have a non-rotating solid. You got a non-rotating semi-solid platform in the middle, and it's a rather long platform too. So this is going to be legal. The cloud. So there's no Yoshi, there's no Shy Guys, there's no clouds that pop up or anything like that on the sides. So that's definitely going to be legal. Halberd. So I've heard that Halberd does not change. It doesn't change at all. But I'm not entirely sure if it doesn't change in the flying portion of it, or if it goes right to the middle portion of it where you're on a solid platform on the top of the ship. If it does that, then it's very similar, actually. Halberd is very similar to Yoshi's Island, but I think it's longer, and the middle platform may not be as long. So it's going to be legal. It's just interesting to think of what form it's going to take, and if they're going to call it a Yoshi's Island clone or something along those lines. Lilac Cruise is going to be legal. Stage hazards off, as we all know, removes the tilting option on the planes, on the spaceship, so I guess no one's going to be lilated anymore. Pokemon Stadium 2 is going to be legal, no hazards. I'm not sure if it's just me. But I feel like Pokemon Stadium 2, the platform layout is actually different than in Pokemon Stadium 1. It looks like the platforms are closer, judging by the shadow and the Pokeball in the middle. It looks like the platforms are actually closer together in Pokemon Stadium 1 than they are, Pokemon Stadium 2 than in Pokemon Stadium 1. So, we'll have to see. Port Town Arrow Drive is not going to be legal. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be legal. Castle Siege. So, from what I've heard, Castle Siege stays at this transformation. It doesn't transform. It stays at this, and because of that, it's going to be legal. It's an interesting 2-platform layout. It's not necessarily flat, and some people, for some reason, want to complain about that. But I think it's good. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's an issue. It's going to be legal as far as I'm concerned. Distant Planet, it's not going to be legal because of permanent walk-off right there. So here's where we come to the controversial stuff again. Smashville, no hazards. The platform stays in the middle, so it becomes very similar to both Halberd and Yoshi's Story, right? Yoshi's Island. Sorry, Yoshi's Island. Um, so I know a lot of people are complaining about that, but I think it works. We just, as a community, since it would be way too tiresome to manually switch between hazards on, hazards off for every separate stage, and then remember what stages are hazards off and hazards on. Since we have such a large possible legal stage list already, I think that's a bit too much. So hazards off, Smashville, it's going to be legal. And given the fact that most people probably won't like it as much since the platform doesn't move, maybe we won't have to hear any more Animal Crossing music. That would be wonderful. Newport City, not legal. Summit is not going to be legal. It still falls into the ocean from what I've heard. There's just no fish, and the icicle triangle right here is non-breakable. So it's permanent. Skyworld would be nice being legal. The issue is that since all the platforms are now hard platforms and can't be broken, it does create a cave of life, permanent cave of life. So unfortunately, I don't think Skyworld would be legal. I'd like to see it as legal since it's a very interesting platform layout. I'd love it to be legal. But chances are it's just not going to be. People are going to dismiss it, and then that's going to be the end of it. Shadow Moses Island. Shadow Moses Island is not going to be legal for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, same thing with Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion, you can't destroy the house anymore, so it is it's permanent cave of life on the very bottom floor. And I heard there's no two side platforms that float up and down. So, yeah, unfortunately, Luigi's Mansion is not going to be legal. Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship has a very good chance of being legal. There's no tornado, there's no rock, there's no cannons, and there's no Red Lion ship that comes from behind. And there's no catapult at the very beginning. The only issue is the water on the bottom, very similar to Jungle Japes. I would like to see it as legal because it's a very unique layout. I think it's cool, and I think we as a community could use something new and different. And just like Jungle Japes, I think we should try it out and then ban as necessary. But I don't know. I think it would be nice. I think it would be a fun map to try out at tournaments. One can hope. Spear Pillar. Spear Pillar is going to be banned because of the fact it has this cave on the bottom. If it wasn't for the cave on the bottom, this stage would work. But I highly doubt the stage hazard would remove a cave. Chances are they don't view that as a hazard, so that is not going to be made legal. 75M, not legal. Mario Bros, banned. Hen and Bow will be banned. Green Hill Zone is going to be banned as well because walk-offs. 3D Land apparently is going to be banned. It still transforms, from what I've heard. Golden Plains is also going to be banned. Paper Mario, this has some really weird blast zones. Chances are it's going to be banned. I know it has a drop-off on the other side of this windmill, but I can't remember if this on the left side is actually a walk-off where you can, walk to your death, or if it's an edge and drops off. So I'm actually not entirely sure on Paper Mario. I think it's going to be banned, though. Gerudo Valley. Gerudo Valley is going to be banned, unfortunately, because walk-offs. Spirit Train is going to be banned. Dreamland Game Boy is going to be banned. Unova Pokemon League. Unova Pokemon League is going to be legal. There's no changes. There's no transformations. It is a flat layout with two floating platforms. It's going to be legal. I'm excited to play on that. Prism Tower. Prism Tower still transforms, and it depends on the mode, or it depends on the type of transformations, if this will be legal or not, and how long, once we get down to the bottom, is that permanent walk-off, and if it's long enough for somebody to abuse. If it's long enough for somebody to abuse, chances are it's going to be banned. If it's not, and it goes right back into the flying transformation, it'll probably be legal. Mute City, that's going to be banned. Magicant, a lot of people have stated they would love Magicant stage hazards off, and I agree. I never had a 3DS game, so I never got a chance to play it, but it looks like a pretty cool stage. The only issue is, underneath this gigantic cloud here is a very small cloud on the bottom that creates a perfect camping platform for certain characters who can actually reach it. And if hazards off doesn't remove that platform, last I heard it didn't, but I haven't seen any hazards off gameplay footage of Magicant, so I can't say for certain. But if it removes that platform, then this stage can be legal. If it doesn't remove that platform on the bottom, then chances are it is not legal, unfortunately. Arena Ferox. A lot of people thought Arena Ferox was not going to transform. It was going to stay in a very Final Destination type of layout, but we actually found out with the Spain Invitational that had the full stage list and the full character list that happened this weekend. This actually has a very unique 3-platform layout that doesn't change, and you can't attack the statues. So that's actually perfect, which means this stage will be legal, and it's not going to be a Final Destination clone. It's actually going to be something unique. So I'm very happy to see Arena Ferox as a legal stage, and I look forward to playing on it. Reset Bomb Forest. So Reset Bomb Forest doesn't transform from what I've heard, and to me that means it's legal. A lot of people have taken issue with this last platform all the way up at the top on the right-hand side, or the fact that there's a gap in the middle, but similar to Yoshi's Story, and I'm pretty sure that... No, why do I keep saying Yoshi's Story? To Green Greens, similar to Green Greens, don't ask. Similar to Green Greens, I think this is going to be legal, and I think we should try it out and ban as necessary instead of just ban outright and never give it a chance in the tournament. I want to play on Reset Bomb Forest. I want to have fun on it. And I think it would be absolutely killer to spike somebody right through the middle. That's all I gotta say. Tournament Island is probably going to be banned for obvious reasons. Haven't seen the actual layout. The layout changes, but I haven't seen the hazards off layout, and if it's random every single time, or if it's one consistent layout every time you play the game with hazards off. Chances are, though, it's going to be banned. Balloon Fight is going to be banned. Living Room is going to be banned. I gotta scroll down now. Awesome. Okay. So, Find Me is going to be legal. Hazards Off, I've heard, or I think Hazards Off is going to remove the ghost and the cage and all that other stuff. So it's going to be legal. It's just going to be two separate platforms with a gap in between. One large one and one smaller one that's a bit higher up. But it doesn't really promote camping, and I think it's going to work. So that's going to be legal. Tomodachi Life is not going to be legal. PictoChat might be legal, but it's going to become very close to a Final Destination clone with hazards off. So chances are it's going to be a Final Destination clone. The only difference is that are the slanted edges. That's the only difference between PictoChat and Final Destination. So, but it's probably going to be legal. Mushroom Kingdom U. Mushroom Kingdom U doesn't change. There's no random people popping up and messing up everything. So I would like to see this as legal. A lot of people say it's too large of a stage, but I think the stage honestly works. It works for singles. It works for doubles. It should be legal. So hopefully it is. Mario Galaxy, not going to be legal, unfortunately. Mario Circuit still transforms despite it being hazards off, so that's not going to work. I have heard that Skyloft stays in this angled three-platform mode, and it doesn't transform actually with hazards off. So if that is the case, Skyloft is going to be legal, most definitely. It's unique enough because the platforms are angled that it's unique enough from Battlefield. So I think Skyloft should definitely be made legal. The Great Cave Offensive. Nope, banned. Kalos Pokemon League, it's going to be legal because I've heard that there is no changes. And it's different from Unova Pokemon League because, unlike Unova Pokemon League, Kalos Pokemon League has the two platforms off further. They're actually like floating right near the edge. So it leads for some unique gameplay. It's a flat platform in the middle, but 2 platforms right next to the edges. So that'll be really cool to play on. Coliseum is going to be banned because there's no transformations, and it's literally just a long, flat platform. Not even a platform, it's just a long, flat walk-off. So that's going to be banned. Flat Zone is going to be banned for obvious reasons. Palutena's Temple is going to be banned for obvious reasons. Gamer is going to be banned because it's still a random layout, and the layouts causes a permanent Cave of Life, so that's going to be banned, unfortunately. Garden of Hope, I think, is going to be banned. It's just a bit too big and awkward of a stage, and while I would love to play on it, everyone's probably just going to ban it. So. Town and City. So Town and City is another one where people wish we had hazards on available for certain stages. From what I've heard, Town and City hazards on only has either has this 3 platform layout or only has 2 platforms. And from what I've heard, the platforms don't move. So a lot of people are unhappy with that, but it's still going to be a legal stage. People just might not like it as much, which means we will have to hear less Animal Crossing music, and that's always a plus. But that's going to be legal. Wii Fit Studio is not going to be legal because it has walk-offs. Same with Boxing Ring, it's not going to be legal. Gura Plain is not going to be legal. I probably butchered that name, but Gower Plain is not going to be legal. Duck Hunt, unfortunately, is not going to be legal. We tried having it legal in Super Smash Bros. 4, and a lot of people complained about the tree. So, and from what I've heard, Hazards Off does not remove the tree and its levels. So that just means that it's probably still going to be banned. Wrecking Crew is going to be banned. Pilotwings, I've heard that when you play Hazards Off, you only actually are on the red plane that has the 2 wings, and while it doesn't change, unfortunately, it's still not going to be legal because apparently you can still get hit by things. I guess I don't know. I never played on Pilotwings, so I honestly don't know. But from what I've heard about other people, it's going to be banned. Woohoo Island. We actually saw gameplay footage of Woohoo Island being with Hazards Off, and it stays with one long platform and then a single platform in the middle. So very similar to Halberd. However, the ends actually curve up. So we have curved up ends, which would cause for some unique gameplay, I think. And so I believe Woohoo Island should be legal. And if people decide to call it like a Halberd clone, then it is what it is. But I think it's different enough from Halberd to where it deserves to be legal and not just grouped into one thing. Come on. Windy Hill Zone is not going to be legal. It's just awkward layout. It's just not going to be legal. So Wily Castle is not going to be legal for the fact that it might be legal. I'm sorry. It might be legal. I've heard conflicting reports. Some say when hazards are off, the platforms don't spawn, while others have said they spawn, but they don't move. So if we have no platforms, this just becomes a Final Destination with the walls. Which it will be legal. It'll just be a Final Destination clone. If we don't have, if we do have platforms, that could be interesting, and it'll make itself unique, and so it probably will still be legal. So I don't know why I said banned, but it's gonna be legal. Pac-Land is gonna be banned. Super Mario Maker, this one is iffy. We seriously need to test it out because we've seen it once, and it was during the Spanish Super Smash Bros. Invitational, and it had an interesting layout. There wasn't really anything wrong with it. Some people were complaining about the sloped edge. I don't understand why people complain about that. I think it works. I'd love to see it. But we need to test it out to make sure it's the same layout over and over again with hazards off, or if it's a consistently different layout every single time. So that one we actually have no idea. Suzaku Castle is going to be banned because it has permanent walk-offs on the right. Midgar is going to be legal. It's just going to become a Battlefield clone, unfortunately. Umbra Clock Tower is probably going to be banned for the background because it annoys some players, or some players actually can't play on it. So it's probably going to be banned, even though that it's essentially going to be a Final Destination. It's going to be a Final Destination clone, except for the fact that it dips in the center. So, but it's probably going to be banned simply because of the background. New Donk City. Some people say it's going to be legal. Some people say it's going to be banned. It still transforms, and it still has walk-off in the first transformation. So, honestly, I don't know. It's up in the air. Great Plateau Tower. Now, this is actually one that a lot of people don't know on. We know that stage hazards off. You can't destroy the top of this stage to create the middle platform. So it sort of creates a cave of life, but some people are saying that because it doesn't stretch across the entire platform, it could be made legal. I don't really know. I think we could give it a try and ban as necessary, but honestly, I'm assuming people are going to call ban on this one. Moray Towers, because of its odd layout, is going to be banned. That's just how it is. It looks cool, but unfortunately, because it's so interesting of a layout, it's going to be banned. Dracula's Castle. I want to say legal. I know a lot of people are concerned about the fact that it's not symmetrical. On one side, you have sloping stairs that go down, while the other side is just a drop. It's just an edge. And then you have two small little walls right here. I mean, these walls are small. I don't see that big of an issue with it, but I want to say Dracula's Castle is going to be legal. Other people, I've heard that they want it banned. So, but yeah, that is all of the stages, and I think it's going to be cool. I really do. So we have a ton of stages. I'm super excited for competitive Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I hope we as a community actually take our time and play all of these stages, we test them out, and we develop a big enough legal stage list that we can get rid of the whole neutral stage, counterpick stage, and we go for something else. I have an idea, and I'm going to talk about it in a separate video on how we can play with these large amounts of legal stages, but for now, I just wanted to talk about what stages I think will be made legal, and what stages I think will be banned. And what stages I think should be legal for now and then ban as necessary. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and look forward to more videos. See you all later.